Welcome back to the story of Love Letters to Lois by Art. Art was my grandfather and Lois was my grandmother, and these letters were written in 1944 during World War II. I am in fact wearing his Marine uniform that fits me perfect, I tell ya. I decided I was going to read the remainder of all of his letters wearing his uniform. Today's letter was written on July 7th, 1944. Just to bring you up to speed from the last letter, in the last letter, somebody decided to play a very dirty trick and break up this marriage before it even began. Art had received a prank phone call from somebody saying that Lois was on base where he was stationed and that she had gone off with another officer. He was never so livid. He would find out who was the culprit for the female behind the case. And here is the letter. My dearest Lois, time to write my daily letter to you. How am I doing, by the way? Your letters are simply the best ever. Maybe it's because we're now engaged. Just to remind you all, these two met on April 4th, 1944, and here we are, 3 months later, and they're engaged, even though they've only actually seen each other just a few times while he's on leave. Can you imagine? You know, darn fool that I am, I forgot to include the $10 last night. Remembered it today when I looked in my wallet. Knew I shouldn't have so much money, and it finally dawned on me that no money was included in your letter last night. We'll make sure I include it tonight. I know your feelings, honey, looking out the office window and wishing you were on the outside. Reminds me of school days. Just hated to sit indoors. Myself, I live for the outdoors. Went sailing this afternoon, and there was quite a wind blowing. The sound was quite rough, but the sail was all the better for it. Only wished you were along, Lois. Might have made the ride all that much more enjoyable. That is really a swell idea to have Florence draw a picture of the ring. My folks would really appreciate it. I hope, darling, that you write to them pretty soon, as I did tell them that you would be sending a letter. Yes, Lois, I've been a darn good boy all week. Surprising even myself, but so help me, I do not want it. Lois does not want Art to do any drinking, and he doesn't miss it, he writes. Usually after a show, everybody goes to the slap shoot and drinks beer or Coke. When I go, Cokes are all I drink. You get all the credit for that, darling. I think of you so much, I couldn't go wrong. That fellow that turned me in, we're buddies again. So another fellow had turned him in for coming back late from leave when he saw Lois one time, and that's what that's about. Got what I had to off my chest, and he figured it was his job to do it. Difference of opinion is all, I guess. As for the other trouble, and this is where he's referring to the prank phone call, still no word on the boy and who it was. But the ma'am in the case, she went over the hill last night, trying very hard to get a discharge, I would imagine. She will get it this time if they catch her. Lois, honey, when we get married, and it most likely will be in Harrisonburg, which is where her parents are from, all my family will not be there. His family lived in New England, Dedham, Massachusetts. We'll find out for sure on that. You see, Mother cannot take long trips very well. If they do make it, well, we can go elsewhere for a honeymoon. A 10-day leave should give us a bit of time, when and if I get it. What I was thinking is maybe we could go on a short honeymoon and then head back to my base so we can set up home together. What do you think of that? The next time we're together, we can talk this all over. By that time, I should have plenty of dope about home. Dope in that day was the 411, the info. Probably you will also from the letters that you write. I've got my change all ready for Sunday. Talking to you will keep me happy for the weekend. I wish we had a special phone we could use for just the two of us. Something like a walkie-talkie, and we could hear each other all the time. I do believe he is envisioning the modern-day cell phone. Been finding out quite a bit of information from our talks. That married fellow gave me some stuff I had never heard of. Maybe I should write about it, or should I wait? Going to close now, darling, but wishing I was in Washington, D.C. tonight. I would be there at just about this time as I write this letter to you. We were heading off to the show. Remember how I just wanted to talk to you and you had quite a job trying to keep me quiet? I don't think the people around us really appreciated my feelings, but frankly, I didn't care. Bye for now, honey. Your ever loving husband to be, Art. P.S. Say hello to the girls.